people were like, "Oh, you shut down a bunch of shit."
Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Walk Roundtable. Just like last episode, me, Chris, and then Ben and Matthew are going to be discussing our favorite one-hit wonders. This continues from the last episode from last Wednesday, so if you haven't seen that yet, please go watch that, as these were filmed continuously, which is why I'm having to film this little extra opening section here. So please go watch that and then enjoy this video as well. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy. Matthew, your turn.
Alright, I'm just gonna give like a quick list of songs that are basically one-hit wonders. The famous "A Thousand Miles" by Vanessa Colton, "Ocean Avenue" by Yellowcard, and "Somebody's Watching Me" by Maxwell. And I guess also "Take Me to Church" by Hozier.
I will say that I don't think Maxwell deserves the credit for like the goodness of somebody's.
Yeah, he is
somebody else, somebody who's not a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, of all the one-hit wonders, he is the one that put the least work in his one-hit wonder.
Yeah, it feels like somebody else.
Maybe there's some sort of like nepotism going on there, I wonder.
Maybe. I don't. Yeah. Also,
what a nice young one-hit wonder.
Rockwell.
I wonder who his father is.
Maxwell.
Maybe.
Rockwell, not Maxwell. I don't know why we're saying Maxwell, other than Maxwell Silverhand.
Bang, bang.
Maxwell Silverhammer.
Yeah, Rockwell. It feels like Rockwell. It might have to do with his father being somebody important.
What a nice young one-hit wonder. I wonder who his parents are.
I wonder if, like, all the decent parts of that song are, like, done by somebody who's a lot more famous.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that song really belongs as a one-hit wonder.
No, it does not.
I mean, it counts. I mean, it's sung /rapped by Rockwell, but, like, yeah, the good parts of that song
the main one is, yeah.
Or played by somebody else who does not need to be named. I think we all know who it is.
Exactly.
Somebody who's not a one-hit wonder.
A lot of the people we have done, that we have mentioned in one-hit wonder thing, put a lot of work into their songs. Rockwell, maybe not.
Yeah. I'm gonna list off a couple more songs.
Somebody.
Only some walk.
Okay.
Somebody else.
Oh yeah, and somebody I used to know. I guess. I don't know. I never really cared for that song,
Somebody
but that's like
the. No, I always thought that was. You know, like, I knew it was a meme. I thought the meme was kind of like so bad it's good, but now I learned that people actually like that song.
It's just the funniest thing. He put out that one song, and now he's nowhere to be found. I think that's admirable.
Right, I'm gonna.
I did see a QAnon conspiracy about him at one point, though. Unfortunately, conspiracy theory is like he's a part of the cabal, and this was some. It's like this is just some random dude that put out like this one song of it. Well, I mean, he had the quill before that in like indie circles. He had that one hit, and he just disappeared off of the planet.
It do be like that sometimes. The true modern YouTuber 2010s version of making music.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to list off a couple more songs now. Here's some songs I like. Timothy by the Buoys, which is a song about cannibalism, oddly enough. Kind of a funny little lyric to it. It was actually written by Rupert Holmes, the same guy who was also a one-hit wonder later on for the Pina Colada song. However, it's not actually sung by him. It's performed by other people, but he was the writer on it, the songwriter.
Another song that was featured in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, the Pina Colada song. I don't think Disney would probably put Timothy and one of the. I mean, I dare them to do it. I dare you to do it, Disney, but Disney's not going to do it. They don't have the balls.
I think Disney's preoccupied with some other stuff right now.
Well, I wish them luck. I wish them all the luck in the world. Hi.
Shame.
Other good songs. Patches by Clarence Cordell, who So, like, he's not really a one-hit wonder as a songwriter. Nowadays, I guess he's best known for Backdoor Santa, but Patches is a pretty good song. It's kind of a heartfelt, sort of little, kind of, I guess, single song. Good song. Smiling Faces Sometimes by The Undisputed Truth. That was a song I like. Signs by Five Man Electrical Band. Once again, a funny little song. Dead or Alive, or well, D.O.A, I guess. I guess I wouldn't be Dead or Alive. I'd be Dead or Alive. We'll see. I'm game or brain poisoned. I've never even played the Dead or Alive games. They honestly look like trash. D.O.A, which should stand for Dead on Arrival. Not Dead or Alive, excuse me. By Bloodrock. Great song. It's a song. It's very violent, I guess. Very gory. It's got kind of a foreboding atmosphere. It's kind of like the musical equivalent of like one of those creepypasta YouTube videos, like, and then something terrible happened. The audience was sitting there just smiling and laughing, but they couldn't guess what would happen next. And like creepy music plays. It's kind of like the good creepypasta kind of, maybe not creepypasta, but kind of a listicle, like darkest moments on, whatever sort of like lost media sort of listicle YouTube video sort of version of the song. It's a song about some people dying in a helicopter crash from their point of view. But it's got kind of a style all its own. I don't really hear music, I mean, obviously sometimes metal goes into this more gory sort of thing. This isn't really metal. It's honestly a really slow song, but it kind of builds up on the sort of foreboding with the like ambulance sounds and whatever. It's an experience, to say the least. So yeah, that's D.O.A by Bloodrock. They're from Dallas, I think. Good song, one hit wonder. As for songs featured in Guardians of the Galaxy, again, I have to list off, of course, Brandy, Your Fine Gold by Looking Glass.
I say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be.
Yeah, great song. And also kind of similar songs, or Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. Once again, a very nice, really upbeat, kind of a feel-good song. One of the great, like, singles of the 1970s. Very kind of happy, upbeat song. And I also want to shout out Lakeshore Drive by Aliota Haynes and Jeremiah. I actually had the greatest pleasure to visit the actual street Lakeshore Drive recently. Not LSD, but the actual street that it's kind of about, and it's obviously kind of about drugs, but actually this is the actual street, so I made a point while on the actual real-life Lakeshore Drive in Chicago to play this song, Lakeshore Drive. I actually took the Lakeshore Drive up north to a place called Evanston, where there's a record store, and bought some records. So I was really classic walking it out there. I did not get the record of Lakeshore Drive, though, but I did get several records, including some that I'm going to be, or I have been covering on my channel, such as The Who's My Generation Fresh Cream. So, yeah, it was nice being able to actually be on the actual street that they were going on. They kind of wrote the song not just about the street, but also about drugs. But they actually also kind of partially wrote it about the street. They had actually been driving along that street and everything. It's a great song for great sort of, I guess, piano. And I was actually on the street, and I was listening to it on the actual street, and that was really great. And for the last one I want to mention right now, I also want to mention Terry Jacks' Seasons in the Sun. Great song. It's adapted from some sort of poem, if I remember right. It was, I think, written for the Beach Boys, but I kind of like this version. It's a bit overwrought at times, and some of the lines, like, it's so hard to die, is a little bit, I guess, melodramatic in a way, but it is a pretty heartfelt song. I also gotta appreciate the way that this guy, he just dropped out of music and went on to become an environmental activist. Yeah, Seasons in the Sun by Terry Jacks. That's a good one-hit wonder from the 70s. Alright, Ben, you got any more?
Oh yeah, I have still a ton.
Oh yeah, keep going.
Okay, so the next one I have listed, it's one of the best one-hit wonders of all time. Perhaps the best. It is the NBC theme. It's actually Melt With You by Modern English, which was actually technically not a hit, but...
Yeah, it was like 41 or something on the charts, right at its peak position.
Yeah.
It was like one
I mean,
off.
it's an excellent song, very well known.
It's a no-hit wonder.
It's an amazing song.
Ben, it's a no-hit wonder.
Yes, it's a very top 10 song. It's very interesting. The reference to Mission Lace in it is weird. I'm not entirely sure where they got that from. It's also the name of their first album, which I'm guessing it might be something kind of like I was discussing with McCarthy's Polk, some random thing that got stuck in one of their heads of like some imagery, kind of like the cake in the rain. I'm not sure. That's just speculation on my part. Yeah, but no, that's a very top tier song. There's multiple different interpretations of it, all of which I think are interesting. I think it's just a very well put together song. It's simple in many ways, but it just works perfectly. I kind of like its sound, kind of between post punk and new wave, which obviously connect to genres. Yeah, I think it's an excellent song. In many ways, has a punk spirit to it. With its simple construction, even though it has a very overworldly synthesized element to it in some ways. Matthew, do you have any more songs?
I think I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I've said my piece.
Well, alright. I've got, I guess, some more to speed through myself. I'm on list. Of course, there's Come and Get Your Love by Redbone. Once again, another song that was in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's also in Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, oddly enough. I'm kind of mad at them for kind of chopping up. You can't listen to the full thing in game, though. This band Redbone actually inspired Jimi Hendrix, their guitarist, oddly enough. There's also a 90s version of it, like a 90s, like, Eurodance cover of it. That's pretty good as well, by like a group called Will McCoy. As like a Eurodance thing. I'm not sure if they really count as a one-hit wonder or not. They have a couple of good songs, like One Way, although I think their best known song these days is named something like Another Night or something, is I think their best known song these days. But yeah, I think it was kind of popular in the mid-90s, and they did a pretty good cover in their 15 Minutes of Fame of this song, Come Get Your Love. The original by Redbone is still better, but if you're a fan of like 90s production values, it's a pretty good cover as well. So, and you can listen to them both kind of and enjoy them too, like I do, honestly. Well, as I say, I do have a preference. I also want to list off Gloria Gaynor. She was kind of a two-hit wonder. But obviously, everyone these days remembers her from her song I Will Survive. I don't really think I have to explain why this song's great. I think everyone knows it. It's got a great set of lyrics. It's got a great vocal track. And it is overall just kind of a big mood. It kind of sums up its theme of, I guess, perseverance in the face of, I guess, a breakup. And also, kind of turning from missing someone to being kind of mad or vengeful, whatever, but like not in a violent way, very well. So yeah, overall songs I guess I want to mention is 8675309's Jenny by Tommy Two Tone. That's obviously one of the best 80s one-hit wonders. I'm moving into the 80s here, but already had. Very great, kind of upbeat, a good song to kind of listen to while driving around the car. Very nice radio kind of cruising song. And I also want to say, technically Lindsey Buckingham, I believe, counts as a one-hit wonder when not with Fleetwood Mac. So I do want to shout out his song Trouble, which is kind of a soft, almost disco-y, very kind of, I guess, kind of smooth, maybe not disco, it's maybe a little bit too slow for that, but very nice sort of song. It's a kind of a calming song. very nice. Lindsey Buckingham's Trouble. If you're a fan of Fleetwood Mac, I'd certainly recommend checking it out, although it doesn't really sound too much like Fleetwood Mac. Ben, you got any more?
Oh, well, yeah.
Keep going.
I'm a movie cast slowly. So one interpretation of Melt With You deals with a nuclear war, and whether that's actually true or not is kind of complicated. But there's at least a sense in that song that there was a, maybe not a literal doomed ness to humanity. At least there's a passing of some sort of moral passing, whether literally or figuratively, that is somehow contrasted with, let's be honest, sex.
Everyone loves it.
But it in some ways captures, and no, I am not discussing Mel With You. This is the lead into a different song. I know it sounds like I've gone back to the previous song, which I have. This is the lead into the next song. So in some ways there's a sense of like an 80s. So a lot of people do think this, but a lot of Americans that don't spend a lot of time thinking about the 80s often think of the 80s as this happy, bubbly, I don't know, Wall Street-y thing, where there's like a lot of bright colors and money. Which, yeah, is a part of the aesthetic of that period, and definitely Wall Street was overly powerful at that time. But there was also a strong sense of, like, doomedness. And, like, a lot of people, a lot of average people, at least, remember Reagan as, like, I don't know, happy president that, like, defeated communism or whatever. But at times he was quite unpopular because he was viewed as really dangerous and threatening nuclear war. Now, clearly his popularity was quite high when he was re-elected in 1984, but at times, clearly, in his first term, he was perceived as kind of, or at least by many people, as kind of a madman. That clearly the Soviets perceived him as that, as somebody who could trigger this horrific apocalypse. And we came awfully close to it happening just by the. And in many ways, it was just his personal rhetoric that led to escalated tensions. And in some ways, I don't think Reagan can be given a great man role as the person who ended communism or whatever, because that's ridiculous. But, like, in some ways, it is his personal shift towards being less hawkish that ended that period. But that period was very real and very concerning, and real, very lucky it ended the way it did. And that is the topic of our next song. 909 or Luftballon. Let me try pronouncing that again. 909 Zig Luftballon.
99 Red Balloons, right?
99 Red Balloons. Another excellent one-hit wonder that explores doom, in this case very literal apocalyptic doom, and also another German 80s new wave song. We've discussed several of them so far. And here's another one. This song very explicitly deals with basically an accident. It varies from the English and German versions, but what exactly happens. But red balloons trigger fighting and stuff between East and West Germany that then triggers fighting between US and the Soviets. It has a very deep sense of, like, this, to some extent, something like that. There's obviously that famous incident in the Soviet Union where the one guy determined that no, there was not a nuke incoming, but they initially thought there was. But there was a number of close calls in the 80s. Not as close as that one, though. And also the leaked Reagan comments about outlawing Russia. That were very dangerous and insane. And balloons might not have caused it. Why did you do that?
To be a little, overly, I guess, musically poppy for my taste.
It is quite poppy in some ways, but I think it has a number of different movements and stuff within it that I think makes it work quite well.
That's alright. There's a guy I know, a guy we all know quite well, who, the senator from North Dakota, who is attempting to learn all the lyrics to this song in German.
The North Dakota precedent.
The North Dakota precedent.
North Dakota actually does have a long history of like German and stuff in it, so it kind of makes sense.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, good luck to him on that, memorizing all the lyrics in German. I certainly wouldn't want to be the one to do it. Alright, well, a couple of the songs I want to mention here now. First of which, I guess, is Break My Stride by Matthew Wilder. Pretty good song. It's got kind of some nonsensical lyrics, but it's a nice kind of upbeat, sort of, I guess, feel-good song once again. Hold Me Now by the Thompson Twins. Now, I'm going to be honest. Thompson Twins were responsible for one of the most embarrassing videos I've ever seen from the performance of Revolution at Live Aid. I mean, it is awful. It is awful. And I've listened to some other songs by this band. They were awful. Okay, some of these other songs. But Hold Me Now is a pretty good song. The guy from Thompson Twins, he can't sing, but in this song he doesn't really need to. He just needs to kind of, I guess, talk. You know, and it works. The backing vocals work pretty well, and everything just kind of falls into place. The kind of sound, the lyrics are good, the percussion is good. Everything just kind of falls into place on this song to kind of make it work together. It makes kind of a whole vibe of its own. It kind of stands out as its own thing. You know, it does everything it does right. Even if it's just to some degree by dumb luck. I don't really know how it ended up that way. If that's good. Some other good songs I want to mention are, of course, Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hort, I Can Dream About You by Dan Hartman, Walking on Sunshine by Katrina Waves, I actually have the album that's from, and St. Elmo's Fire, Man in Motion by John Paul. All great sort of 80s songs that are nice to listen to if you're listening to like classic rock radio or whatever the call. Kind of you could drive around back and forth, just kind of cruising to them. Pretty good stuff there, you know. Something you always want to listen, like just sit down and listen to songs that sound like them, you know, all together. But like when, you know, played kind of back to back, you kind of evolving radio format, they work quite well. Ben, you have any more?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess next we will do the important discussion. I don't think Come On Eileen is a sexist song. And I'll agree that it does have the "in this moment you mean everything," which, yeah, kind of does sound kind of questionable. And yeah, it kind of looks like he's catcalling on the video. But the video also shows very clearly that they've known each other for like decades. So, no, obviously it's not like, I don't know, like a one-night stand or whatever, number one. Number two, I don't know if one-night stands are sexist to begin with anyway. But probably not. I mean, they could be, depending on who's doing it and how. But, and number three, I don't think this song is about a one-night stand. There's a lot of, like, deindustrialization talk in this song, and I know it's kind of hard to tell because of the unusual singing, but it clearly represents kind of a, you know, British deindustrialization, which especially escalated under Thatcher. Talk about, you know, kind of just the stifledness of that place. And like Dix's Midnight Runnels, which are from Birmingham, which is up in the Midlands, but this also applies to areas up north, like the next band I'm going to be talking about. Deal with a lot of kind of diverse areas. I mean, they clearly come from like Irish, British people that had immigrated there from, you know, non-Northern Ireland, that were mistreated and stuff, that were factory workers. And the song deals with, in some ways, kind of the uncertainties of those areas, but like it is clearly a more romantic song than just like a one-night stand song. It's more long-term relationship, and it deals with kind of a weird, repressed, in some ways, both by the kind of culture, but then also in terms of the just a society as was being forced by economic forces and also a certain Thatcher to kind of be destroyed. I mean, it's just kind of like a Rust Belt area here in the U.S. Except for Thatcher was much more aggressively hostile towards these areas than Reagan was. Reagan was not hostile to these areas. He was actually liked in areas like that. Thatcher just despised people like in Come On Eileen. She just hated their gods and wanted to see them destroyed. Like, it's not just like neoliberalism and like abstract free trade or whatever. But it is also that. Margaret Thatcher just hated working class people. I don't know what else to say. She liked the idea of independent middle class people and like poor workers. No, she didn't care about them. And she clearly, the Welsh in particular, she just hated. And that's what that song's really about. It's really about, like, you know, we at some point, you know, this place is not great and whatever, but, like, and we are far too young and clever, let's, you know, run away from it. And also have sex, like, very clearly having sex. But, like, not just having sex, you know. He's not just strapping his hands across. She's not just strapping her hands across his engines. But that song also not just about sex.
That's a blues
post. So I think any interpretations of this song that are overly simplistic, it's just like, oh, he's just hitting on this girl, wants her to have sex with him. At this moment, you mean everything to me. Well, emphasizing at this moment is, I think, missing the point pretty wildly. And I think it's a good song. It's a good song that has multitudes of meaning. It's not as good as the previous two songs I talked about, but it's one with significant social, cultural meaning that is lost on a lot of people. And that's unfortunate. So yeah. I guess I'll do another song. This song does not that much meaning. I guess I could read meaning into it, but I'm not certain on it. I ran so far away by a flock of seagulls. These folks, they're from Liverpool. The song is clearly about running away from aliens. I mean, that showed up and stuff. But once again, kind of like in Come On Eileen, we all talk about banned from a declining area, Liverpool. Well, Liverpool at least was still having sea trade. There's kind of a sentiment of like trappedness and stuff in there that may be a reflection of the socio, political, cultural circumstances. But at the same time, it's mostly just about being chased by aliens. I mean, yeah, I think you could read it too, maybe. Or it's possible that there's some level of sense about trying to escape this trap. The trap in that case is literally chasing him because they're aliens and we're trying to capture him. But, like, if it's called rebellion and stuff, and the way that band is styled and stuff, it's a very out there group. Out there town. But I do think it's, like, less obviously connected to the sentiment of the times as little songs like Come On Eileen or 99 Red Balloons or I Melt With You. Or Melt With You, I guess. But I think it's a good song nevertheless. It's very experimental and weird. New wave song.
It's a banger. That's all I have to say. Alright, I've got a few more. Something About You by Level 42. That's a banger. It's a whole mood from the 80s. The best songs from sort of the mid-80s. The Promise by When and When. That's a song I really like. It's one of the better songs, once again, from kind of that time period. It's kind of, I guess, It's just got a little bit of a synth backing, and then it's mostly, I guess, based off of the lyrics and the vocal delivery. Both were done very well. I kind of wonder what the guys from Men and Women are up to these days, because they put out an absolute banger song, and then you just never hear of them again. That's a real shame. I also want to shout out All Around the World by Lisa Stansfield. Technically, she's a two-hit wonder, I think, but for this same song choice, just with a different version with Barry White. It's a very good song that kind of bridged the gap in between the 80s and the 90s. A very nice sort of, I guess, it's kind of, I guess, synth pop again. It's got pretty good singing. She's got a pretty good voice, I think. It's a little deep in places. It's, I guess, predates the sort of, like, the 90s Toni Braxton voice and whatever, but that people in, like, Drool and whatever had, but pretty good song there. And, of course, the absolute one of them all, Groove is in the Heart by D.O.A, which has one of the best music videos of all time. It reminds me of this one episode of Star Trek, actually. It's a bizarre video. It's kind of a bizarre sounding song. It's a great song, though. It's like, honestly, I don't listen to this song. I go and watch the video. The song's good, too. It's a part of it. You can't listen to it without watching the video, because it's great. You know, it's an absolute experience just watching this and being like, what on earth am I watching? This ugly, kind of vomitrocious mess of colors and bad fashion and whatever. I love it. It's amazing. And I do want to, I guess, also mention Spandau Ballet from the 80s once again for the songs Gold and True. Both of those are pretty good, although some people seem to hate True for some reason, which is, I don't really understand. I like that song, personally. It's kind of a mood. And we'll mention the band Men at Work as well. They're all known for their hits Who Can It Be Now and Down Under, both of which are really good songs, although my personal favourite Men at Work song is Overkill. I once knew a guy on Twitter named Squidward5 with a Morgana from Persona 5 profile picture who was like I think if I remember right, at one point got like really into Men at Work. I found that really strange. But yeah, those are great songs. Some of the great Australian songs of all time. By Men at Work, not to be confused with Men Without Hats, who also one-hit wonder, or two-hit wonder, I think. Men at Work, yeah. And also Colin Hay from Men at Work. He has a great singing voice, actually. A very unique voice. It's I think a shame we didn't really get to hear, I guess, more of these, like, big, hits from him. Because he really could, still can. I mean, he's still around. He recently did a cover of The Kinks' Waterloo Sunset. The dude can sing. Like, the dude's got a great voice, actually. So, yeah. And that's about it, really, for me, Ben.
Okay, I mean, I guess, welcome to the Benjamin Show. So let's start with not a good song, but we're gonna do it anyway. The Safety Dance. It's just a very strange song. The guy who sings it is...
Yeah, I literally just mentioned them when I said Men at Work, not to be confused with Men Without Hats.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know, it's a strange song, strange video.
There's some commercial that keeps playing on YouTube recently that has it on it.
The guy who sings it is of Ukrainian ancestry.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about all I had to say about it. It's just a very strange song.
Yeah, well, you can't do any sort of in-depth psychoanalysis of the Safety Dance, you know.
Well, it's about people complaining his dancing is not safe enough.
Matthew, I have a question for you.
Yes? What's your question?
Do your friends dance? Any of your friends? I know you teach a dance class, but not your students, but your friends. Do your friends dance?
Dance. They too have taken dance classes too, as well.
That's good, because I was going to say, if your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance well, though, no friends of mine.
Nice. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all that really needs to be said about that song.
It's self-demonstrating.
Next, his Saint Elmo's File from that movie, which I've not seen.
I literally mentioned that earlier, Ben.
Oh, you already mentioned that, that's true.
I mentioned it all.
I want to mention again.
It's one of the best 80s one-hit wonders, honestly. to like have come off radio and you could just like walk out to.
Anyway, what I was gonna say about that song is like, honestly, the part was to say Elmo's Fire was like the least good part of that song, because it's like currently about some athlete, but it's just like say Elmo's Fire. It's like that does not belong in that song, but the song is pretty good. It's like a sportsy like song. I don't know, like while you're like running or something. Maniac. Also kind of a sportsy sounding song, despite Would You being about a serial killer, but then, and then being in a movie about dancing.
And she's dancing like she never danced before.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a fine song. I just have it on my list because I like it.
Okay.
Now, back to serious analytical discussions.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
We will be discussing a left-wing band from Australia, Midnight Oil.
AC/DC?
Will we call that a left-wing band?
I mean,
talking
about, Shook Me All Night Long sounds pretty left-wing to me.
I don't know anything about AC/DC's politics. I don't know anything about AC/DC's politics.
We salute you.
I don't know anyway, but I hope that's true.
But no, what we're actually going to be discussing is Midnight Oil, single Bids or Boring. Now, they have like 10 billion different political songs to the point that we could probably just do a whole episode on that.
I was literally listening to the song one day. I'm in a building caught on fire, and I have really good footage of this on my YouTube channel. It's like Burning Building in Oklahoma, so is its name. Go find it on my channel and watch that, because I was literally listening to the song of this building caught on fire, and I went and got really good footage of like stuff collapsing. In fact, it appears in my YouTube channel opening video, a little bit of this clip. So if you just rewind back to the beginning of this video, you should see it. Actually, I was literally listening to this song, and then suddenly like this building caught on fire. It was amazing.
Yeah. So the song Bids Were Burning is about the forcible removal of Aboriginals, Australians, from their lands in the outback. And in some ways there's actually been progress on that since the song has come out, including partially thanks to Pt2, the single himself, who was a politician later on at the left wing of Labour.
Yeah, my man Pt2, he was actually the Minister for School, Education, Early Childhood and Youth in Australia between 2010 and 2013, and he was also the Minister for Environment, Heritage and Arts from 2007 to 2010, as well as a member of the Australian Parliament from 2004 to 2013.
Yeah. But it's specifically in his work in environment and stuff is connected to the topic of his song, because it does involve the relations with Aboriginal Australian inhabited lands, or formerly, recently inhabited Aboriginal Australian inhabited lands. Honestly, the themes of this song can apply to a lot of different things, though, a lot of the sentiments, including here in the United States, where Native Americans were dispossessed from a lot of their lands, and in some cases are still pressured to be dispossessed. There's still actually ongoing disposition for like oil wells and stuff of Native American lands. So there has been some progress on that. There's also been some regression.
As we mentioned earlier when we were talking about Jimmy Webb, me and Ben were in Oklahoma, so of course we kind of know about this sort of thing, considering, the history of Oklahoma and how it relates to, obviously, Native Americans.
Arguably, Oklahoma is one of the best places where Native Americans are treated the best.
Well, but probably because there's so many of them, they do actually manage to, I guess, through some degree of, being together and having solidarity in a way with each other, they can at least wield, when they're at least working together and unified, some degree of political power here. But they don't really have much of hope of doing anywhere else, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know if I'd agree with that. They do wield some significant political power in Arizona and stuff, but I would say here in Oklahoma, the Native American population is somewhat less segregated off. Well, most of the tribes here, traditional lands are not actually the lands that they have now because of the Trail of Tales and the exposures and stuff, but in some ways they are more integrated and more wealthy than their counterparts in other states. Which allows them to wield more influence. But on the other hand, Kevin State, who is normally a member of one of the tribes, or governor, also he uses some really racist rhetoric against the tribes. It's insane. It's like you are literally a member of these tribes. Why are you engaging in this rhetoric against them? Anyway, into that tangent. That song is excellent. Excellent song. It was actually my most listened to song last year.
The Beds Are Burning by Midnight Oil. Ben's most listened to song of last year.
The most listened to song by Ben.
Yeah.
Ben's favorite song.
I would not say that. The next song we are going to touch on very briefly is Touch of Grey by the Grateful Dead. Yeah, technically a one-hit.
Wait a minute.
Truck It never reached the top 40, so
no.
Touch of Grey is technically Touch of Grey is the only top 40 hit, so technically it counts.
Yeah, we're not going to go much in depth to that, though, because we will probably discuss The Grateful Dead sometime else on this channel.
Must be getting early, Matthew. Must be getting early. Clocks are running late. We've been at this for I don't know how long. We've been recording for a long time.
Yeah, so anyway, we're not going to go into depth on that song, though I love it. But, we are not going to go into any more depth on that song. Because they're technically a one-hit wonder, but they're really not. Next is Getting Away With It, a song making fun of Morrissey singing and writing styles.
Absolute banger, honestly. Morrissey, I'm sorry, I like some of the Smith songs, but Morrissey is an absolute cringe lord. And this song, it's hilarious. He's walking rain just to get wet on purpose. That literally sounds like something Morrissey would say.
Yeah. However I look, it's clear to see that I love you more than you love me. That just sounds like Morrissey.
Yeah,
and also
it's a pretty catchy song on its own, and it's got Neil Tennant and stuff, so it's pretty good, and it's got
Johnny Moore.
It's got a pretty good guitar solo by Johnny Moore.
Yeah, it's just a song making fun of Morrissey. I don't know what else to say.
It's Johnny Moore's breakup song.
Let's see. There She Goes by the Laws. Another good kind of almost 60s-ish sounding song from the late 80s.
More people have probably
it's kind of also a predecessor to the Britpop and stuff of Wonderwall and Oasis and stuff. Though it kind of almost sounds like it's about something, even though I don't think it is, as it describes the woman as flowing through my veins.
Is that something you know a lot about, Ben?
No, nope.
Not a true Velvet Underground enjoyer fan.
Gotcha.
Shake my head.
Fake fan. The next song's name I'm going to skip. It's by the Divineless. You all can figure out for yourself.
Yes, one of the Australia songs of all time.
Australia
gave us a lot of good one-hit wonders, didn't they?
A song that is inevitably and inextricably sketched in my mind with Chris Luongo.
With what?
It is. Chris Luongo.
Chris Luongo!
Chris Luongo! I don't see him very often. But
I haven't heard from Chris Luongo in about 3 years or something. I talked to him a lot back in 2020. I haven't heard from him. I'm gonna go check on Chris Luongo.
I will tweet not that long ago. I saw Caleb talking about it.
I'm gonna go see what Chris Luongo's up to.
Chris Luongo! I'm actually following Chris Luongo. He just doesn't tweet that much. And I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more to be the girl who walked 1,000 miles to cut down.
Wait a minute, they're not a one-hit wonder.
County, Wisconsin. What-hit wonder? Do you know any other songs by the Proclaimers?
Yeah, they're in the Shrek movie. I'm on my way, right?
That sounds right to me. Hold on, I'll look it up. But I think he's right, although I'm not really sure if that counts as a, top 40 hit. But that would still make them a 2-hit wonder, so they're still eligible. Hold on. Let's see. Does look like they had something that charted in the UK, Canada, and Austria at one point. I don't know. I can't really tell exactly, but I would count them as a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that one had one. But like a weird Scottish folk band. It's like traditional Scottish folk
They're
music. It's
also
not.
one of the bands with the most, I think, descriptive and self-demonstrating names. Like the Proclaimers in the one hit from the one hit wonder. All they do in it is literally proclaim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they're one hit wonder in America, but not in the UK. In the UK, I think they have at least 3 hits.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Oh yeah, no, I still have quite a few. That's just a fun song.
Oh yeah, they proclaim.
Another song I'm thinking about. This was under a list of one-hit wonders. I feel like it's not actually a one-hit wonder because I know it's probably a two-hit wonder. The other song I don't really like that much. Two Princes. It's not like the greatest song of all time by the Spin Doctors. It's just an interesting song.
Kind of a 2 or 3 hit wonder, aren't they though? Because they got Little Miss Can't Be Wrong, but then they also have that one after that as well from the, I think it's the next album. It's something about like Cleopatra's Cat or something.
Yes. That's a wait. How do you know that song though?
Which one?
Cleopatra's Cat. That's a weird song.
It's a song by Spin Doctors.
That's true. I'll agree. That's a song by Spin Doctors.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a hit. Looks like Cleopatra's Cat made the top 40 in the UK, but I don't think it did in the US. So yeah, I guess we'll count them.
Yeah, I mean, now we will discuss a classic rap song, "Jump Around," sung by Irish, or rapped by Irishmen. It is, I don't know, just a very exciting rap song. I don't know, it's just very hype. It's not like very deep or whatever, but it's kind of funny and hype. I don't know what to say.
Oh, also, I do want to say something, which is it looks like the Proclaimers have been cancelled by the British monarchy, which is cringe because they're quite based, actually.
It's anti-Scottish discrimination.
Agreed.
More. I'm not gonna go for more on that. Then there's one of the greats, Scatman John, with Scatman and Scatman's World.
Yeah, well, I'm calling out to Scatman. I'm calling out to Scatman's World. You know, he's a great, he's a great guy. And he shows that, you know, you can, I guess, be a successful-ish. You know, like, if he had lived longer, he may not have been a one-hit wonder. He shows you could be, you know, he's sort of like the Grandma Moses of, music. You know, he's kind of later on, you know, in his life. I mean, he was like, what, like, 50 or something? When he, like, was big. And, you know, he showed that you could be big and you could put out some great stuff. Yeah, he was 57 in 99 when he died. So around 94, he would have been about 50-something. So yeah, he showed that you could put out some great, new-sounding, very kind of fresh kind of sound that kind of mixes rap with scatting, with some sort of even, like, electronica synth in there. Even, you know, that late in your life, you know, the guy, you know, was still having fresh ideas and was able to deliver a good performance or whatever. So, you know, I really think he's a great, you know, guy. And he also obviously stood up for, like, people who were, like, stuttering and whatever, which he's great as well for that. It's just, in general, he's an icon. So, yeah. What else, Ben?
Yeah, what I was gonna say about Scatman is, yeah, he's an important icon and very impressive, both technically and not. Just a very impressive person. Your Woman by Whitetown. A kind of random dude who recorded a song in his bedroom. That is great. Also you have leftist references. He used to be a Trotskyist, but now he's not. Now he's a mobile soul leftist. But he seems like a very nice guy. You know, you never know. He might even respond to watch this video. I know he does watch YouTube. He's just kind of a random.
Well, I hope he does watch this video, or at least if he does watch it, I hope he watches it, you know, through to the end, to the point where he actually appeals, as opposed to just, you know, watching like the first 15 minutes of it giving up, because we've gone long-winded here.
Yeah. Next is Tubthumping, an anarcho-communist song about drinking.
They're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. I get up again. They're never gonna keep me down.
Chumbawamba has a lot of really political songs.
I like the song, Homophobia, especially the single version of it. It's not really a hit or anything, but it's a song I like.
Yeah, Tubthumping itself is not particularly very political, saying though Tubthumping, the name, does before the campaign is a term for campaigning in Britain. But it's kind of about drinking, but like it's like, you know, drinking, like working class drinking culture is in opposition to the elite or like neoliberalism or whatnot. I guess within the context of the walk, but yeah, it's like the least political walk. Their opinions are obviously more extreme than mine on things, but I do agree with a lot of their sentiments, nevertheless. Yeah, they're a good group, albeit kind of an odd pick to have a hit. Here's another great 90s one-hit wonder. You Get What You Give. Also has some left-wing lyrics about, like, smashing Mercedes Benzes. But altogether, the best thing about this song is this construction,
see,
in my opinion.
I know you love this song, but I've never much cared for it.
Unfortunate. It's just good construction, in my opinion. It's very 90s, though.
I've heard Walls. I've heard...
It's a really good construction. Now, occasionally it does swerve into cliches, but even then it carries it pretty well, in my opinion, because of the, just the sheer construction of how the voices come together. And anyway, I have a message for some singles right now. So, this is very important. Beck and Hanson, Courtney Love, and Marilyn Manson, you are all fakes, go to your mansions. Come around and I'll kick your asses. Anyway.
That's a bit to the point, Ben. No need to be so aggressive.
Hanson is actually a pretty important... I'm not including Hanson on my list, but we're going to discuss it very briefly anyway.
No, let him wonder that...
From Oklahoma, but... Yeah, well... Also, some of them have some unfortunate views. Not too vocal about them, thank goodness. But I'm not really that great of a song. And then, for the last one-hit wonder I'm doing, it's Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. Now, obviously,
one of the greatest songs from the 2000s, honestly.
Obviously, CeeLo Green is not a one-hit wonder, but Gnarls Barkley technically is. Does putting this on my list make me crazy? Probably.
Like me.
Like you, yeah. It's a crazy like pick. It's a crazy pick. Anyway, I have one last thing to say before we move on. Finish up this episode on One Hit Wonders. And this song... It's not one of my favorites, but and I'm not including it formally on my list. But all I have to say is, pump up the jam, pump it up with your feet all stomping, and the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Pump it up a little more, get the party going on the dance floor. See, 'cause that's how the party's at. And you'll find out if you do that.
Make my day.
Make my day.
A place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight. Make my day.
That's a big mood. Alright, that is all for now for One Hit Wonders, or Favorite One Hit Wonders Part 2. And we did release Part 1 last Wednesday, so if you haven't seen that yet, go check that out. And if you watched this part of the video, or listened to this part of the podcast, I once again want to thank you for watching. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to it, comment if you have opinions or One Hit Wonder you love. And once again, I hope you'll watch the other episodes of Rock Roundtable. I'll have a link to the playlist in the description. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you next time.